Thousands of trucks ready for sale, just sitting unused in lot.
The clock is ticking for 15 popular pickup trucks. And unless owners act fast, many of these models could be worth next to nothing by 2026. Values are falling at a pace no one forecasted. Prices are being slashed behind the scenes, incentives are exploding, lease returns are piling up. And industry insiders are quietly admitting a brutal truth. Some trucks will never recover from this downturn. The warning signs are everywhere, but the people who need to know the most everyday truck owners aren't hearing them. Which models are already collapsing? Why are these specific trucks getting hit harder than the rest? And what happens when interest rates finally drop and millions of owners try to trade in at once? Nissan Frontier. Whispers across auction lanes reveal a truck losing traction faster than analysts predicted. As shifting demand, outdated design cues, and relentless competition drag its once steady resale reputation into a downward slide, no one expected to unfold this quickly, today overwhelmingly. What was once marketed as a tough, no-nonsense mid-size option now finds itself trapped between an aging platform and a marketplace that has moved on without mercy. The Frontier entered this generation with promise, yet it immediately felt overshadowed by rivals delivering sharper design, stronger towing credentials, and more advanced technology. That mismatch has turned into a financial storm. Across dealership lots nationwide, incentives of $6,000 to $9,000 are being stacked on brand new Frontiers. And when brand new trucks get slashed that deeply, used models sink even faster. Auction houses have already reported week-to-week drops that would have been unthinkable just a few seasons ago. The Frontier's limited technology package, modest interior updates, and quiet marketing presence have left it struggling to command attention in a segment defined by aggressive innovation. The cause is simple. When every competitor pushes bold redesigns, the truck that refuses to evolve becomes the one the market ignores. The effect is brutal depreciation that erodes trade-in value long before the loan balance even begins to budge. Anyone holding this truck is now watching a predictable slide accelerate into a full-on collapse. And if you think this fall is steep, wait until you see the next model on this list. Its decline cuts even deeper. Ram 1500 Classic. Market insiders keep sounding alarms as discount cycles intensify, signaling a workhorse slipping beneath modern expectations, while heavy fleet saturation, aging foundations, and aggressive incentives combine to crush long-term value in ways even seasoned observers did not anticipate unfolding right now. Originally intended as a short-term bridge between generations, it instead became a perpetual discount machine, flooding lots with aging hardware dressed in familiar sheet metal. What looked like a cost-effective entry point has transformed into one of the fastest depreciating full-size pickups on the road. Dealerships across the country have been stacking incentives so large they feel like clearance signs, pushing down transaction prices by amounts that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. When new inventory drops by $10,000 to $15,000, used classics collapse even harder, often landing well below projected residuals. Auction data shows repeated waves of low-mileage units arriving from fleets, each wave driving values lower than the last. The cause is straightforward. This truck is competing not only with modern rivals, but with its own successor, a far more advanced Ram that makes the Classic look frozen in time. As technology expectations rise and safety standards evolve, the Classic struggles to justify its place in the lineup, and the market reacts with ruthless consistency. For anyone watching the numbers, the trajectory is unmistakable. And if the fall of the Classic feels dramatic, the next truck on this list proves the downturn can hit even faster than expected. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, take a moment to like the video and subscribe so you never miss updates like this. Your engagement tells the platform this information matters, and it helps ensure more people see what's happening in the truck market. Ford Ranger. Momentum vanished the instant a newer generation hit showrooms, leaving an outgoing midsize contender struggling for relevance as shoppers redirected attention. Residual charts dipped sharply, and dealers raced to clear aging stock before depreciation gained even greater speed across every. As the redesigned Ranger rolled onto lots with bolder styling, stronger powertrains, and a modern cabin, the outgoing model instantly felt like a relic from another cycle. That shift in perception was enough to trigger a depreciation slide that has has not slowed since. Trade-in offers began dropping by 20 to 30% nationwide once the updated version appeared, and auction reports show unit after unit selling for figures far below projected residuals. The 2023 Ranger wasn't a bad truck. It was simply outgunned at the exact moment Ford unveiled a far more capable replacement. In a segment where progress is aggressive and loyalty is fragile, being the last of the old can be a financial knockout. The cause is direct. Consumers gravitate toward the newer platform with stronger towing, smarter technology, and cleaner packaging. That leaves the prior generation stranded with little to differentiate it beyond price. The effect is a widening value gap that forces used listings lower every month as dealers rush to clear inventory before values slip further. Anyone holding this model is watching an unavoidable market correction unfold in real time. And if this generational wipeout seems abrupt, the next truck reveals how uncertainty under the hood can accelerate depreciation even faster. Chevrolet Silverado 2.7 Turbo. Rumblings in valuation reports point to a full-size pickup grappling with doubt as concerns about long-term durability, shifting powertrain expectations, and escalating resale pressure converge. Pulling down confidence faster than manufacturer incentives can stabilize perception among increasingly skeptical second-hand shoppers. This engine was introduced as a modern answer to shrinking displacement, promising big torque from a compact design. But in a segment built on tradition and long-haul durability, a turbocharged four-cylinder ignited hesitation the moment it arrived. Across dealership networks, depreciation data shows a clear pattern. Models equipped with the 2.7 turbo are losing value faster than their V8 counterparts, with early drops surpassing 35% in under 2 years. Auction lanes confirm the pressure, reporting softer bids and noticeably shorter hold times as dealers avoid stacking inventory with engines that still need years of proven reliability before earning widespread trust. The cause is rooted in perception. Full-size truck owners expect engines to withstand hard towing cycles, brutal weather, and mileage that stretches well past 200,000. When a powertrain arrives without decades of reputation behind it, the market reacts cautiously. The effect is a narrowing audience, declining resale confidence, and used prices falling at a rate the brand cannot counter with incentives alone. Anyone watching this trend can see where the curve is pointing, and if the Silverado's identity struggle feels significant, the next model on this list proves that even a premium badge cannot protect a mid-sized truck from a sharp downturn. GMC Canyon. Premium pricing lost its shine as competitive models surged forward, exposing a mid-sized truck caught between ambition and execution, where elevated expectations collided with uneven reliability signals and created a widening value gap impossible for dealerships or incentives to mask. When GMC reshaped the Canyon's identity, the goal was clear: elevated above everyday competitors. But the moment the higher sticker prices hit the lots, the market pushed back hard. Incentives exceeding $5,000 began appearing far earlier than projected, a signal that demand was not keeping pace with supply. Auction sheets reinforced the trend, showing repeated cycles of soft bids and shorter retentions, as dealers resist stocking units that move slowly and depreciate quickly. While the Canyon delivers strong design and respectable capability, its elevated pricing places it in direct comparison with rivals that offer more proven dependability and stronger long-term confidence. The cause is structural. Premium pricing only holds when performance, reliability, and value retention rise together. When one of those pillars weakens, the entire equation collapses, and resale values suffer immediately. The effect is a widening gap between the Canyon's list price and its real-world market value, a gap that continues to stretch month after month. For those watching closely, the trajectory leaves little room for doubt, and if the Canyon's slide feels steep, the next truck on this list shows what happens when technology innovation outruns the market's willingness to embrace it. Ford F-150 Lightning. Early excitement rapidly transformed into skepticism as real-world range variability, infrastructure inconsistencies, and dramatic price adjustments collided, pushing an electric pickup into a depreciation spiral that exposed how fragile momentum becomes when expectations outpace proven capability across unpredictable driving conditions. Launched with tremendous anticipation, the Lightning symbolized the bold electric future of America's best-selling pickup. But as production scaled and real-world limitations surfaced, a perfect storm began forming around its long-term value. Price cuts of $15,000 to $20,000 on new models hit the headlines first, instantly hammering resale confidence. Auction data followed, revealing used Lightnings selling for 40 to 55% below their original sticker within remarkably short ownership cycles. Range fluctuations in cold weather, inconsistent charging availability, and concerns surrounding long-term battery longevity only intensified market hesitation. The cause is layered. Electric trucks are still defining their identity, and when ownership realities collide with high pricing, depreciation accelerates with extraordinary force. The effect is a rapidly shrinking pool of interested buyers, leaving many Lightnings listed for extended periods before attracting serious offers. Even loyal truck owners are pausing, unsure whether the Lightning's promise outweighs the financial risk. This truck was designed to mark a turning point, but the market instead turned sharply away from it. And if the Lightning's slide into uncertainty feels dramatic, the next model on this list demonstrates how the struggle becomes even more severe when a company's entire future hangs in the balance. Rivian R1T. The glow of early innovation dimmed quickly as financial instability rumors, service network limitations, and high repair uncertainties eroded confidence, placing an electric adventure-oriented pickup on a trajectory where performance strengths could no longer counterbalance the market's growing fear today. When Rivian entered the market, it delivered innovation, performance, and design that captured national attention. But as the excitement settled, harsh financial realities began reshaping the truck's long-term outlook with unrelenting force. Auction records now show R1T models that originally commanded prices near $90,000, selling for $45,000 to $55,000, depending on mileage and region. Concerns about corporate longevity have become a dominant factor, overshadowing the truck's impressive capabilities. Limited service networks, parts availability challenges, and high repair costs compound uncertainty, making ownership feel like a gamble rather than an investment. A truck can be extraordinary on the road, but if confidence in the company behind it wavers, resale value collapses regardless of performance. The effect is visible across used market listings, where R1Ts linger longer and sell for less, as potential owners weigh innovation against stability. The R1T remains one of the most exciting electric trucks ever produced. Yet the market's message is clear. Brilliance cannot outrun financial doubt. And if this sharp downturn surprises you, the next truck on this list shows how quickly a powertrain shift can turn a respected nameplate into a sinking asset. Ram 1500 EcoDiesel, once celebrated for smooth torque and highway composure. A discontinued diesel program shifted sentiment overnight, triggering a resale collapse fueled by uncertainty surrounding future support, tightening parts pipelines, and market hesitation that deepened as more owners rushed to exit before. Once praised for torque, refinement, and highway efficiency, the EcoDiesel suddenly found itself without a future when production was halted. That single announcement sent resale values into a freefall the market has not recovered from. Depreciation reports now show EcoDiesel models losing close to 50% of their value within a few short ownership cycles. Auction lanes reveal a steady retreat in bidding confidence, with dealers increasingly reluctant to take on a platform whose manufacturer has stepped away from its long-term support. The uncertainty surrounding parts availability, and maintenance costs only intensifies hesitation, creating a widening gap between perceived durability and real-world financial exposure. The cause is simple. When a manufacturer ends an engine program, confidence ends with it. Without ongoing development or guaranteed backing, the market reacts swiftly, punishing models tied to discontinued technology. The effect is a depreciation curve that grows steeper each month, regardless of mileage or condition. The EcoDiesel remains a smooth, capable engine, but the market does not reward nostalgia. It rewards stability. And if this decline feels abrupt, the next truck on this list shows how even legendary reputations can falter when early reliability issues cast a long shadow. Toyota Tundra twin-turbo V6. Generational expectations collided with mechanical complexity when a trusted badge adopted forced induction, igniting widespread discussion about longevity, early component failures, and long-term confidence that eroded resale strength far faster than any previous iteration of the platform had ever experienced. For decades, the Tundra name meant overbuilt engines, low-stress drivetrains, and mile counts that easily stretched past 200,000. But the shift to a twin-turbo V6 introduced a level of complexity that immediately raised concerns the market market has not ignored. Early reports of turbocharger failures and powertrain inconsistencies spread quickly across service centers, creating a ripple effect that pushed depreciation far faster than any previous Tundra generation. Auction sheets reveal softening bids, with some late-model V6 units falling at rates normally associated with brand-new platforms, still ironing out their engineering kinks. Even trucks in excellent condition are struggling to hold value as uncertainty builds. The cause is rooted in expectation. When a brand known for bulletproof simplicity pivots to a high-pressure turbo setup, every flaw, even rare ones, feels amplified. The effect is a confidence gap that has grown wider with each owner report, turning what should have been a breakthrough modernization into a polarizing transition period. The 2024 Tundra remains capable and well-equipped, yet the market is reacting to fear rather than features. And if this struggle surprises you, the next truck on this list shows how an electric overhaul can magnify volatility even more dramatically. Chevrolet Silverado. Bold engineering and futuristic ambition met harsh reality when evolving infrastructure challenges, uncertain battery longevity, and premium pricing clashed, sending a high-profile electric truck into a steep value downturn as dealers hesitated to hold inventory vulnerable to unpredictable demand cycles. Designed as bold statements of Chevrolet's electric future, these models promised power, innovation, and capability beyond traditional boundaries. Yet the moment real-world range limitations, charging inconsistencies, and steep pricing surfaced, enthusiasm began to fade. Early depreciation reports show losses of 35 to 45% in surprisingly short ownership windows. Auction lanes reinforced the trend, revealing an increased reluctance among dealers who fear holding high-cost electric trucks that may sit for extended periods. These shifts aren't driven by performance failures, but by uncertainty surrounding infrastructure reliability and long-term battery durability, two factors that heavily influence confidence in the electric truck segment. The cause is structural. A truck can offer cutting-edge engineering, but without predictable charging access and proven longevity, the market reacts cautiously. The effect is a shrinking pool of interested owners and transaction prices that continue to retreat month after month. Even the work truck variant, originally positioned for fleets, faces the same depreciation drag as organizations hesitate to adopt unfamiliar electric platforms at scale. The Silverado electric lineup represents ambition, but ambition alone cannot stabilize resale value. And if this sharp downturn seems dramatic, the next truck on this list reveals how an identity crisis can impact value just as severely as technical uncertainty. Before we move into the final stretch, make sure you subscribe so you stay ahead of the shifts reshaping the entire pickup landscape. The next drops in value are already forming, and the upcoming reveals will change how you think about owning or trading a truck. Honda Ridgeline. A truck engineered for comfort and refinement found itself mismatched with market expectations, as rising competition, shifting segment priorities, and image-driven preferences pushed a uniquely capable design into a depreciation trend that exposed how perception often outweighs performance during resale. Built on a unibody platform and engineered for exceptional comfort, the Ridgeline excels at daily driving, long-distance travel, and light-duty tasks. Yet its strengths have become its greatest hurdle, as many traditional truck owners continue to overlook its capability and focus instead on what it lacks. Depreciation data now shows Ridgeline models dropping between 30 and 40% in a remarkably short time, driven by rising competition from mid-sized trucks that emphasize ruggedness, towing confidence, and off-road packages. Auction sheets reflect the trend, revealing bids noticeably lower than forecasted just 1 or 2 years ago. The Ridgeline's smooth ride and interior refinement, while impressive, cannot offset a market that continues to prioritize toughness and visual aggression above all else. When a truck doesn't project the image associated with its segment, resale value suffers, even when performance remains reliable and predictable. The effect is a widening gap between what the Ridgeline delivers and what the market rewards, leaving owners with a truck that feels better than its resale numbers suggest. The Ridgeline remains a strong practical choice, but practicality alone cannot preserve value. And if this identity-driven decline seems dramatic, the next truck on this list shows how oversupply can erase resale even faster. Ford Maverick Hybrid. Hype-driven scarcity vanished almost overnight as production scaled, flooding the market with compact hybrids that no longer commanded premium resale, revealing how swiftly enthusiasm fades when availability increases, competition intensifies, and yesterday's must-have model becomes today's ordinarily priced alternative nationwide. When it launched, demand exploded, waitlists stretched for months, and used models even sold above original sticker. But once production ramped, inventory expanded, and incentives crept in. The Maverick Hybrid's once unshakable value began to erode. Depreciation reports now show many Maverick Hybrids sliding into the mid-20,000 range, a sharp drop from the low 30,000 transactions seen just a short time ago. Auction lanes reinforce the trend, with bids softening as more units enter circulation than the market can absorb. The hybrid variant, once the crown jewel of the lineup, has become a symbol of how quickly momentum can vanish when scarcity disappears. The cause is pure economics. A truck that was once rare suddenly became common, and in a competitive segment where new models launch constantly, familiarity dulls excitement. The effect is a rapid normalization of prices, pushing resale downward as supply outpaces the early surge of interest. The Maverick Hybrid remains efficient, clever, and versatile, but the market does not reward yesterday's hype. It responds to today's saturation. And if this rapid correction feels steep, the next truck on this list shows how complexity beneath the hood can accelerate depreciation even more aggressively. Ford F-150 PowerBoost Hybrid. Ambitious engineering collided with real-world ownership costs as hybrid complexity, battery longevity concerns, and elevated repair expectations converged, pushing a technically impressive full-size truck into a depreciation pattern that accelerated once market data highlighted the widening gap between capability on. This powertrain promised a fusion of muscle and efficiency, offering hybrid torque without sacrificing the towing strength expected from America's best-selling full-size pickup. But as complexity grew, so did hesitation, and the market quickly adjusted. Depreciation data now shows PowerBoost models commonly losing 40 to 50% of their value within the first couple of ownership cycles. Auction results echo the trend, revealing dealers increasingly wary of stocking a truck whose hybrid components introduce expensive long-term repair concerns. The combination of high purchase cost and uncertainty surrounding battery longevity has transformed what was once hailed as a revolutionary option into one of the steepest depreciating configurations in the segment. The cause centers on complexity. Work-focused trucks traditionally reward simplicity and durability, and when a model introduces additional systems that require advanced diagnostics and specialized parts, confidence slips. The effect is a shrinking buyer pool, extended listing times, and resale numbers that fall faster than comparable gas-only trims. The PowerBoost remains powerful and technically impressive, yet the market's caution continues to intensify. And if this hybrid downturn seems severe, the next truck on this list reveals how a flawed redesign can trigger an even more dramatic collapse. Chevrolet Colorado Base and LT. A bold redesign captured attention yet exposed underlying fragility, as early mechanical inconsistencies, software irregularities, and transmission complaints emerged, prompting rapid resale erosion and forcing prospective owners to reevaluate long-term confidence in a mid-size platform facing scrutiny far sooner than. The updated Colorado arrived with sharper styling, a more aggressive stance, and promises of improved capability. Yet, beneath the bold exterior, early reliability concerns and software inconsistencies began surfacing far sooner than expected. Auction data now reflects depreciation rates approaching 45% in remarkably short timeframes, with dealers showing increasing reluctance to take on these units at anything above conservative bids. Reports of transmission hesitation and electrical system irregularities have amplified caution, pushing used values downward at a pace that outstrips most mid-size competitors. Even well-maintained examples are finding it harder to command strong resale as shoppers gravitate toward models with more stable reputations. The cause lies in the fragile balance between innovation and execution. A redesign creates excitement, but if owners encounter issues early on, that excitement transforms into skepticism that spreads fast through the market. The effect is a widening disconnect between the Colorado's stylish presentation and the confidence needed to support its long-term value. The 2024 Colorado remains visually compelling, but visuals alone cannot fight depreciation curves shaped by unresolved concerns. And if this steep fall feels dramatic, the next truck on this list represents a collapse so severe that its manufacturer could not stay standing. Lordstown Endurance. The collapse of a fledgling electric automaker sent shockwaves through valuation charts, leaving its flagship pickup abandoned by infrastructure, unsupported by service networks, and plummeting in resale as uncertainty overtook optimism and transformed a bold industry experiment into a near worthless. What began as a bold attempt to reshape American electric manufacturing quickly unraveled into one of the fastest corporate implosions the truck market has witnessed in recent memory. The Endurance entered production with optimism, yet almost instantly faced financial strain, limited output, and a shrinking support network that signaled trouble long before the headlines confirmed it. Auction houses now list Endurance units that once cost over $60,000, selling for barely $8,000 to $12,000, a depreciation curve so steep it resembles liquidation more than market correction. With the company shuttered, parts availability uncertain, and service options effectively non-existent, the truck's long-term viability has fallen to near zero. Dealers refuse trade-ins, insurance valuations fluctuate wildly, and remaining owners face the reality of holding a vehicle the market no longer knows how to price. When the manufacturer collapses, confidence collapses with it. The effect is a resale trajectory, unmatched by any other modern truck, turning the Endurance into a symbol of the risks tied to early-stage electric ventures that cannot sustain momentum. The Lordstown Endurance is more than a depreciating truck. It is a cautionary tale etched into the market's memory. And while this ranks at the bottom of our list, the broader story of what comes next for the truck market is only beginning. And that wraps up our breakdown of the 15 pickup trucks projected to lose the most value by 2026. If you learned something new, or if you own one of these models, drop a comment and let me know your experience. Don't forget to hit like if this helped you, and subscribe so you never miss the next market update. Your engagement helps this information reach more truck owners before the downturn hits full force.